There have been multiple reports that the Prime Minister's office is questioning your abilities as Finance Minister.
Did you receive assurances from him that you will be staying on as Finance Minister?
It's got to be difficult to have your future as Finance Minister subject to questions and public scrutiny out in the open. What is that like for you?
Has Mr. Trudeau raised concerns about your performance with you, and perhaps you can expand? Hi, my question's for the Deputy Prime Minister. My name is Amanda Lena Laterio. I'm with Global News. The Prime Minister says he's been trying to recruit for years Mark Carney to run for the Liberals. Have you also spoken with Mr. Carney to encourage him to run for the party, and why or why not?
I actually have known Mark for a very long time. Both of us are from Northern Alberta. And I think Mark is a great Canadian. I am really glad that he has come out as a Liberal, and I'm grateful for any support he can offer our party, our government, and our country.
What the hell are you talking about?
So have you spoken with him?
I speak with Mark often.
About that?
I speak with him often. He's actually my son's godfather.
That wasn't the question.
And I will offer my own perspective. So as I said a minute ago, it really, Canada is so amazing. And I know that Canada and Canadians, we face some big challenges and we have some amazing opportunities. And I just consider it a real privilege every day to do my best to serve Canada and Canadians, to work on projects like this one.
What in heaven's name are you talking about?
Sir, was that a yes or no as to whether you had received assurances that you will be continuing as Finance Minister?
Again, the Prime Minister is a very eloquent guy, and he is really capable of speaking for himself. I can speak for myself too, though. So let me just add, to serve as minister in a cabinet, you do need the support and confidence of the Prime Minister. That is especially true for the Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister. Today is a nice day to be Finance Minister because I'm saying yes to an amazing project. But if you're Finance Minister, as my colleagues here know all too well, you have to say no a lot of the time too. That's how we keep our AAA credit rating. And hang on, let me just finish my answer. And so in order to do my job effectively, in order to serve the amazing people who are here today and the people across the country, I do have to feel that I have that confidence. And so what I will say to everyone here, speaking for myself, is I do have the confidence that I need to do my job effectively.
Next question, please.
A question for the Deputy Prime Minister, Adrian Gobriel, CTV National News. Minister Freeland, we've been trying to reach out to you for some time to speak with you about an investigation that we're working on. It looks into money service businesses, Canadian-based MSBs that run trading and currency exchange apps and services. Some of these MSBs are being run by international criminals who are registering their businesses here in Canada, registering with FinTrack, and using shared office spaces as their address. They're using Canada to legitimize their Ponzi schemes. One business, actually multiple businesses, have set up their office address right here in Markham, Ontario. They're marketed their trading app to investors in Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, and then allegedly vanished with upwards of $1 billion. Critics say that so far the measures taken by the Department of Finance have done little to crack down on MSBs. How do you believe these criminal MSB corporations who are stealing hundreds of millions of dollars reflect on our country?
So thank you for the question. And what you report and allege in your question is very, very serious. I take money laundering in Canada extremely seriously. And in fact, our government and I, as finance minister, have introduced tougher anti-money laundering legislation than any government in Canadian history, including further empowering FinTrack. But I think your question is an important one. I think we do have more work to do here in Canada, both in terms of ensuring that we have the tools we need to crack down on fraud and money laundering, and also that law enforcement agencies across the country are doing their job.
And just to follow up to a question from my colleagues and one for my colleagues in Ottawa, it's got to be difficult to have your future as finance minister subject to questions and public scrutiny out in the open. What is that like for you?
Oh, I spend very little time feeling sorry for myself. I am Canada's Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister. I grew up on a farm. I know that there are millions and millions and millions of Canadians who work much harder than any of the dignitaries standing behind this podium, and who do it for less money and less acclaim. Those are the Canadians I think about every single day. And I am really just focused on serving those Canadians to the best of my ability.
Next question.
Hi, Lisa Robertson from TVO with the agenda, Steve Paikin. We are in a position right now where we're continuing to expand on oil and gas. And I'm wondering why we spend all of this wonderful energy to build initiatives like this, and we continue to expand when we probably know that we have enough fossil fuels to get us through the transition. Why are we not putting our energy towards more initiatives like this?
Well, let me say this. I think Canadians can and should be extremely proud of the work that we are doing as a country to reduce our emissions. And that work, it truly is a team effort. I mean, what we're seeing today is such a beautiful example of it, right? Like, you could not get more local and more grassroots than Markham District Energy, people who love this community, who live in this community, who, as we heard from our American neighbor, have been planting seeds for this work for 25 years and just keep going. And it is like such a privilege for me that our government is able to put some tools in place to support them in that work. And we are here in Markham, we're seeing one great example. But there are projects like this going on across the country. Canadians are smart, they are innovative, they are working really, really hard on climate action and to bring our emissions down. That is the story across Canada. That is something I am really excited that our government is a part of.
Okay, our next question is, the opposition has made one of its top talking points Axe the Tax, aimed at stopping your government's key green initiative, the carbon tax. Would supporting more projects such as this be a better, less polarizing way to get Canada on a greener path?
Thank you for the question. And our answer is we need to do both. The price on pollution actually puts more money in the pockets of 8 out of 10 Ontario families. It is revenue neutral. At the same time, I absolutely agree. Our government needs to be energetically supporting projects like this one here at Markham District Energy that are bringing our emissions down. And again, Canadians should be proud of the fact that Canada today has one of the most ambitious national set of tools to support efforts to bring emissions down, probably one of the most ambitious in the world, maybe the most ambitious in the world. And let me just enumerate them. okay? We have the Canada Growth Fund. That is capitalized at $15 billion. It supported the work here. We only set it up last spring, in the spring of 2023. It is up and running and has invested $2 billion. And the Canada Growth Fund knows that if they finish investing their $15 billion and they have more great projects, they will get more support from the federal government, because that is money that comes back to the government. So we have the Canada Growth Fund. We have the Canada Infrastructure Bank, another federal institution that our government put in place to support projects precisely like this one that decarbonize our economy and our communities. And then we have our $93 billion suite of projects, including, and you know, the sort of the spearhead tools to decarbonize are the investment tax credits. Last month was a very big month for Canada because those tax credits were passed into law. And we are seeing them drive major investments into Canada, major decarbonization, like the investment in Dow, like the Honda investment, like the Strathcona CCUS investment. And I just heard from Bruce, he's interested in understanding whether Markham District Energy qualifies for the investment tax credits. And we're happy to talk to you guys about that too.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes today's press conference. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.